This session is a very special presentation on IAGES, Transforming Indian Gold Industry. And making this presentation is the CEO of IAGES, Mr. Kaushlendra Sinha. As all of you know, the Indian Association for Gold Excellence and Standards, the world's first self-regulatory organization, is dedicated exclusively to the gold industry. Mr. Sinha brings extensive experience from his previous roles as Executive Director at CII, where he has led international operations and served in various regional leadership positions across India. His distinguished career spans leadership roles at prominent organizations, including Shapoorji Pallonji Group as Senior Vice President, APCO Worldwide as Senior Director, Sterling and Wilson as Head of Corporate Affairs and Communications, and during his tenure at CII, he held several key positions, including Regional Director for Africa, Gulf and Middle East, Western Region and Eastern Region and Northeast, where he was instrumental in facilitating Indian business interests across these regions. Today, he gets on the stage with us to talk to us more about IAGES and how it is transforming the Indian gold industry. Let's give him a welcoming round of applause, please.
Thank you, Ritika, for the wonderful introduction. Thank you for this opportunity to the Evental team. I see Srivatsavaji for inviting us to this forum, giving us this platform to talk about IAGES, the self-regulatory organization that has been set up. Transparency, trust, and transformation. That's how we want to take this journey forward. I just want you to go back yesterday when Jignesh Bhai was talking about his concept of where he wants to take the gold industry forward. I was actually making a mental count. He talked about trust 19 times. And trust has been again an oft repeated word across the discussions which have happened since then. What we aim to do is to bring in transparency in the gold value chain, develop trust, which leads to the transformation. Before I jump into the presentation, I would especially like to acknowledge colleagues, friends from World Gold Council who have actually conceptualized this entire self-regulatory organization. So special acknowledgement to Ajit, who actually lived, dreamed, breathed IAGES for the last couple of years. Rupesh, Rakhi, I'm missing Sachin here. I can see Ankesh as well. So thank you for this. IAGES as a concept was launched by Sachin last year in August. And this year, August, we became an independent identity. We became an Indian identity in terms of becoming an industry initiative, which is driven by the industry in consensus with the voices that emerge from across the value chain. Before I jump into what we are aiming to do, I would just like to talk about and tell you why do we need an SRO in the Indian gold ecosystem. I'll just give you an example. If you look at the mutual fund industry today in India, AMFI was created in, say, around year 2000. And if you look at year 2000, what is the kind of penetration that financial services industry had? If you go back to year 2000, and all these data are here, I'm not going to refer to them. If you go back to the year 2000, we had around 50 lakh demat accounts in the country. Come 2025, this number just jumps to 20 crores. 25 lakh folios have been enrolled in the country. And if you look at the monthly SIP which happens, it's close to almost 30,000 crores. So all of you who are like late 40s and then, late 40s or early 50 like me, you will remember how the stock market used to fluctuate when a FII was, withdrawing fund from the country. All those days are past now. With higher level of penetration, with bringing transparency into the practices of the financial service industry, the market has completely evolved. Now there are more and more buyers, more and more consumers who are there in the financial services industry, which actually allows the industry to move forward and absorb those shocks. We similarly believe that gold industry today in India is at a similar level, wherein for us to move forward, we need to bring in more consumers, we need to transform our practices, we need to practice a higher level of compliance, and bring the trust that the consumer is seeking for. I just want to tell you exactly where we are today, and this is our interpretation of how we see this. Trust, oft repeated word since yesterday. We surely want a higher level of trust. There is a fragmented landscape, of course, in India. All of us in this room would agree that we need to get more organized as an industry. There are, of course, regulatory gaps that need to be addressed. The global landscape continues to evolve every day. That also impacts how the gold in business is happening in the country. And we also agree that we probably should have more government participation and support. Where we want to be? Surely we want to have higher amount of consumer trust. Very, very important. A key to how the industry is going to go forward. Sachin talked about Swarnim Muran and how the gold will play in the role of 2047. It's all about keeping the consumer bringing to the gold market. Can't happen without trust. Because gold it's not only the ornament that we're talking about, we're also talking about gold as investment. So trust becomes the key part. How do we standardize industry? How do we build market reputation? How do we speak in one single voice for the industry so that we take the conversation forward? We become one unitary voice which is asking for what are the changes that we seek from the government. How does the Indian market is seen from an external angle? All that is where we want to be. And that's where IAGES comes in. As I said earlier, we had a launch a year back. We have now gone live in our operations. And we are a completely by the industry, for the industry initiative. If you can look at this, I'll not get into too much of detail of it. It's all there on our website. We are looking at developing 5 pillars of our work. We are talking about creating trust, creating about credibility for the gold value chain from the consumer perspective, developing a higher level of compliance within the industry. Of course, at the same time, develop capability. Again, a very important part as industry moves forward. We need to innovate. We need to find new solutions to bring in new consumers. And of course, as we do all this, the end goal is the market continues to develop, market continues to evolve, and we as an industry are able to serve that. For doing this, what we have done is that we have come out with a code of conduct. The code of conduct and we have also set up a implementation accreditation framework. So we have a code of conduct which applies to our members who wants to become a member, and we have set up a framework for implementing that. And of course, as an end goal, we have to have practices. We are looking at promoting all those sustainable practices. Happy to say this, as of today, we have the leading associations in India backing us. So we have as of now IBJA and the GJC. Mr. Rokde was there in the last session. Of course, Mr. Kothari was there. Mr. Mehta was also there. So we have these 2 associations right now backing us. And as we go forward, we are talking to get more associations on board which will help us become a unitary voice of the entire industry. So that's right now, this is what the position is. But we are adding more partners as we go forward. Importantly, I would like to share that, we have been talking to media recently, and one of the questions which was asked to me by a media channel was that why should a consumer respect your accreditation? So what we have done is, we have signed a memorandum of understanding with Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, which basically means that we have access to the top tier of chartered accountants in the country. We are training them on IAGES code of conduct and how this entire system will flow. And they are the ones who are going to do the third-party assessment and send us the reports. So as an organization, I am not in a situation, I am not in a position to influence what report even comes to me. I am going by the recommendation of the assessment which has to come from a registered audited firm with us. On the other end, we have also ensured that the auditors take this entire exercise in the way it should be taken. To do that, we have ensured that under ICAI, we have a formulation where, in case there is, we wish not to be in that situation, but if there are audit reports which are coming, which are not in sync, there could be a disciplinary action that ICAI would be taking against those auditors. So we have kind of taken efforts to ensure that we have foolproof system to take this process forward. Important question here is, who does it apply to? Who does this accreditation apply to? In India, we of course know we don't have too much of mining which happens. So for us, the value chain starts from refining. So we have got code of conduct starting from refining, bullion trading, manufacturing, hallmarking, retailing, and digital retailing. So for each of these verticals, there is a code of conduct which is there. Why should you get IAGES accredited? It's again an important question. Of course, if you are adopting something like this, you are setting up as a market leader in the geography that you are operating. It's a very important part. Of course, we are also talking about how our accreditation would be seen by other parties. So of course, you will be able to deepen your investor relationship because you will be the one who is seen as following good practices. Get the loyalty of the new age customers. The new age customers is not going to be, he's going to be asking tough questions. He's going to be asking us how we are sourcing our gold, how transparent are we in our practices. So you earn that as well. Of course, we talked about earlier, how this entire thing has been conceptualized by the World Gold Council to start with. So there is going to be an extensive network which will emerge as we go forward. And of course, as the journey moves forward, you will gain that competitive edge operating in the market. And of course, share commitment for a better future for the Indian gold industry. If you look at this, how this accreditation happened, it's a very, very simple process. It may look complex on this screen with 7 steps. We are there to help you, guide you, navigate all these steps. So just reach out to us. Reach out to our website, IAGES.com. Drop in an email to us. We will help you guide. So you just have to raise your hand, fill in some basic details, and we'll help you guide through this entire process where you have to do your self-assessment, you have to do your external assessment. We will guide you through this entire journey. You have to just raise your hand, reach out to us, and be part of this vision. This is again a conversation which has been happening for a while. We all want to see India emerge as the Sone ki Chidiya, where we become the golden capital of the world. How does that happen? It won't happen because we don't do anything. I have picked up a quote which is from Chanakya. All of us, give a lot of legacy to Chanakya and the kind of work that he did. And those who can't read Sanskrit, I'll read it out for them. It says, Rajye Rajye Sarvanasya Mandandam Avashyakam Vyapar Suvasitam Tadaev Rashtra Samriddhi. Basically means that unless until you get your gold ecosystem in place, that's the instigator for the entire economy to fire. That's what Chanakya said 2000 years back. Before I jump into this video where I'll end, I would say we are now open for accreditations. We are receiving a lot of registrations. Our work is on. We are going to be starting our consumer interaction, wherein we will tell the consumer that if you are dealing with an IAGES accredited entity, you are ensuring that, one, you are backing a business which follows transparent practices. So the call out to the industry is very simple, that come and join us. Starting second half of October, we will start our engagement with the consumers, educating the consumer that what IAGES is trying to do in the market. Before that, with that, I'll just show you something which we have.
Craftspeople, entrepreneurs, we are the heartbeat of India's gold industry. Some of us shape gold into timeless beauty. Some grade it. Some trade it. And some simply honor its worth. No matter what role we play, we're bound by something deeper. We're bound by trust and built on transparency. That's why we've come together, to lead with integrity and raise the bar for all. Introducing IAGES, the Indian Association for Gold Excellence and Standards, a self-regulatory organization created by the industry for the industry, built on 5 pillars: trust, credibility, compliance, capability development, market development. We promote fair practices, clear processes, and shared accountability. So, consumers can trust not just in the gold they buy, but in the people behind it. From bullion traders to cardigans, refiners to retailers, graders to digital platforms, we are one value chain, coming together with renewed purpose. With IAGES, we're moving from individual effort to collective responsibility, from tradition to new age practices, because gold isn't just a precious metal, it's a promise. And through IAGES, we're making that promise stronger, together.